say Noah chapter 7?
Yes, you did. And I didn't even catch it.
Today we're in the book of Noah. JK. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be doing another Bible study, and today's Bible study is the continuation of the Noah study, which we started last week. And last week we did Genesis chapter 6, so if you want to jump in on this study and you missed that video, then you can go back and watch that on our channel. Today we are going to do Genesis chapter 7.
So we are doing this because we wanted to go back and restudy what we learned whenever we were kids about these Bible stories.
The typical children's Bible stories.
We want to go more in depth.
All right, so we're going to read the first 5 verses and then talk about them. We'll just talk about it in segments like that throughout the chapter. We'll read and then talk about it, read and then talk about it. So the first 5 verses in chapter 7 say, "Then the Lord said to Noah, 'Go into the ark, you and all your household, for I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. Take with you 7 pairs of clean animals, the male and his mate, and a pair of the animals that are not clean, the male and his mate, and 7 pairs of the birds of the heavens, also male and female, to keep their offspring alive on the face of the earth. For in 7 days I will send rain on the earth, 40 days and 40 nights, and every living thing that I have made I will blot out from the face of the ground.' And Noah did all that the Lord had commanded him."
So the commentary on clean versus unclean animals says, "He is instructed to take on board 7 pairs of all clean and a pair of the animals that are not clean. He was instructed to do that since after the flood, some clean animals would be offered as sacrifices and some would be eaten as food. To ensure their survival, it was necessary to have more than 1 pair of each kind in the ark."
I knew that some would be given as a sacrifice from studies I had done before, but I didn't really think about them eating the animals that they brought with them.
Yeah, me neither. Verses 6 through 10 say, "Noah was 600 years old when the flood of waters came upon the earth. And Noah and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with them went into the ark to escape the waters of the flood, of clean animals and of animals that are not clean, and of birds and of everything that creeps on the ground. 2 and 2, male and female, went into the ark with Noah as God had commanded Noah, and after 7 days the waters of the flood came upon the earth." On the same day they entered the ark, the flood came.
So Noah was 600. Imagine being 600 and building
insane.
an ark and gathering up all the animals and creepy things and birds and everything on the earth. That
All I gotta say is the health must have been way better.
It had to have been.
It's all that fruit from the trees they had to eat.
They didn't have any snack cakes. And you'd have to probably like go out and pick your berries for food and you know, all the things. So they had to work for everything that they had. They had to carry water probably, and we live a luxurious life. We just don't realize it.
Yeah.
So then 11 through 16 says, "In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, on the 7th day of the month, on that day all the fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the windows of heaven were opened, and rain fell upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. And on the very same day Noah and his sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them entered the ark. And every beast according to its kind, and all the livestock according to their kinds, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth according to its kind, and every bird according to its kind, every winged creature. They went into the ark with Noah, 2 and 2 of all flesh, in which there was the breath of life." The breath, not breath. "And those that entered, male and female of all flesh, went in as God had commanded him, and the Lord shut him in." Well, the commentary says, by pinpointing the exact date of the flood within Noah's life, the text underlines that it was a real event. So like, it's like putting like a timestamp on something that happened makes it seem more authentic, or you know, more likely to have actually happened. It also says like when it says the fountains of the great deep burst forth and the windows of the heaven were opened, it's just kind of a big emphasis to express how intense of a situation that was.
Now, all Noah and his family and the animals are safe in the ark. So 17 through 24 says, "The flood continued 40 days on the earth. The The waters increased and bore up the ark, and it rose high above the earth. The waters prevailed and increased greatly on the earth, and the ark floated on the face of the waters. And the waters prevailed so mightily on the earth that all the high mountains under the whole heaven were covered. The waters prevailed above the mountains, covering them 15 cubits deep. And all flesh died that moved on the earth, birds, livestock, beasts, all swarming creatures that swarm on the earth, and all mankind, everything on the dry land, in whose nostrils was the breath of life, died.
You know, I think it's weird that it points out that the breath of life was breathed into the animals. I wonder what the significance of that is. Do they have souls? Because God breathed the breath of life into them? Because he breathed the breath of life into us, and we have souls. There's not any commentary or any further description of the fact that it says the things that God breathed the breath of life into. So if you know more about that, we would be interested to know what you know about it. You can leave that in the comments for us to read so that we can learn if you don't care. So it says the flood continued 40 days on earth, the waters increased. It says that they went up over the mountains, 15 cubits over the mountains. Does it say how far in feet that is? What are the dimensions of the ark?
30 cubits high, 45 feet high.
That would be 30, so 15 would be half of that. The water would have went 22 and a half feet above the mountains. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
It doesn't say anything about plants or trees or greenery or anything like that being taken out, which I'm sure some of it would have definitely suffered damage. But I don't know, did God have to replace and replenish all of trees and grass and bushes and stuff after the flood, or did it all just kind of spring back?
It says that everything whose nostrils were filled with the breath of life were blotted out except for the ones that were on the ark.
Also refers to them as all flesh,
Yes.
So anything with flesh died. And then the last verse says the waters prevailed on the earth 150 days. And we're going to read the commentary on that.
It says, the waters prevailed on the earth 150 days. The figure of 150 days, which includes the 40 days of rain mentioned in verse 12, is repeated in chapter 8, verse 3. In both places, it denotes the 5-month period that falls between the detailed chronological notice given in 7:11, marking the very start of the flood, on the 17th day of the 2nd month, and 8:4, when the ark comes to a place of rest on the 17th day of the 7th month. It will be a further 7 months before the land is sufficiently dry for those in the ark to disembark safely.
So for 110 days after the rain stopped, they were waiting for the land to dry out. This is kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a little chart of chronological timestamps of the story of Noah in the ark. It lays out how per day how things happened and how all of it fell into the 150-day period and stuff like that. I'll take a picture of that and insert it for you guys so that you can see it too. That is it for this study. We will continue on in chapter 8 next week and find out what happens when the flood subsides.
If you guys are interested in that, be sure to join us again next Monday. We also post videos on Wednesdays and Fridays. On Wednesdays, we're starting to do weird words from the Bible with Mariah and Amber.
Words that are used a lot in the Bible that even though we might have seen them a lot, we might not know exactly what they mean. So it's good to know so that we can better understand what we're reading.
Fridays we do fun videos, makeup, fashion, food, DIYs, whatever we feel like doing that day. So if you're interested in that, be sure to join us for that.
We hope you guys enjoyed Bible studying with us. We hope you have a good day, have a good week, and don't forget to shine. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Lord, told Noah there's gonna be a floody, floody. Lord told Noah there's gonna be a floody, floody.